I'm Mike Crudge, Communications Director at the Baptist National Support Centre. This is my annual report for the year ending September 2024. Churches that enjoy being in union together desire to connect. It continues to be my privilege to serve our collective of faith communities through the Baptist National Support Centre. We are making progress with our communication plan. Much of my area of work is detailed on our baptist.nz website under Resources Communication. A few highlights in the past year. Firstly, usage of the Baptist NZ app is increasing, as is the use of the baptist.nz website and engagement with content via Facebook. The bi-monthly printable A4 PDF newsletter is being used in churches where typically older people who don't have access to content digitally but like to use paper for their content. So local churches get this PDF, they download it every 2 months, they print and photocopy off and distribute that to the people in their congregation who used to read and now miss the paper magazine, The Baptist of the past. You can access this by going to baptist.nz/print. There have been over 200 written pieces of content published over the past year on your communication platform, averaging close to 4 pieces each week. The most popular Baptist NZ app push notification option is what's called the weekly content update. This comes out on a Sunday evening as a reminder of the new written and podcast content over the past week. So please encourage your church members to turn this notification on so they can stay up to date with the variety of content and resources they are enabling to exist. The most popular written content this year has been the 5-part series of written articles on Israel and Palestine, 21 Questions by Philip Church, which was based on questions from readers. Our most popular website content this past year, in order of popularity: firstly, article, news and stories; 2, job vacancies; 3, karakia prayers in Te Reo Māori; 4, find a local Baptist church; 5, podcasts; 6, contact National Support Centre; 7, governance and constitution consultation; and 8, serious misconduct consultation. The backbone of our content is the wide range of volunteers who share stories from their local context or write articles, columns, education pieces, or give their time to craft podcast shows or be interviewed for episodes. A big thank you to all of those people. There are 7 established written columns and columnists providing regular content from a range of topics and perspectives, and they can be found online, baptist.nz/resources/communication/columns. Podcasts continue to be an achievable way to present content, with around 1 in 5 New Zealanders listening to this medium. This past year saw the creation of 3 new podcast shows. Firstly, Kerry Open, which literally opens up some of our Kerry Baptist College campus world for us all to listen into. So check out the great biblical teaching through the pastoral epistles this year on that podcast show. Another one, A Beautiful Work. This podcast is mostly for pastors and those thinking about it or wanting to learn more about this particular area of Christian ministry. And then there's one called The Lowdown. This podcast show came after Hui 2023 feedback to make the pre-Hui reading and content available or accessible via audio so that it was easier for people to consume ahead of being at Hui. So for example, while Hui delegates travelled to Hui, they can now get the lowdown through their earbuds or car stereo as they're driving or flying to Hui. There's a new podcast series being developed right at this moment by Steve Wolseley on church and the climate crisis. This should be out before Christmas. There's another investigative series being worked on that should be ready to release by autumn. You can see all of our podcast shows at baptist.nz/podcasts. And these are all available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, as well as being on the Baptist NZ app. The rollout of the Easy Church app for any local church that wants to communicate with their people this way has been a year late due to complications with the way push notifications have been working or not working, as the case may be, in the Android version. With around 55% of mobile device users being on the Android operating system, it's crucial that our app works well for everyone before we activate this local church version of it. I'm really sorry that this has taken much longer than expected. You can view the introduction material about how this local version of the app will work online. So if you go to baptist.nz, go to that top menu, the resources bit on the top blue menu, then communication, and then local church app. And on that first page in there's a 30-second video clip that will help congregations see how they could use the app for internal church communication. Things like giving, push notifications, I think, will be the game changer for local church comms if you can get most of your people with devices using the local version of the app. So that should be ready soon. I know I said that a year ago, but a lot of development has been happening on that. Now, with this local church version of the app, the support centre will cover the ongoing cost for any local Baptist church having this part of the app. There'll be a $100 initial setup cost, but after that, the ongoing monthly cost will be covered by the support centre. The Easy Church app will bring together local church communications, including the push notifications, like I mentioned, events, mobile and web giving, sermon notes and recordings, video and audio, including a local church being able to have its own podcast channel that can then connect with Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube. There'll be forms that can be set up to having your people filling out to gather information, and Foodle integration, social media connection, AirPlay and Chromecast capability, and heaps of other stuff. You can go to the Easy Church website to see all the features that they have, but for local Baptist churches, you won't have to pay the money that is listed on the Easy Church website. We're covering that cost. And this is possible through the bulk deal that we have with that company, who are based in Christchurch, New Zealand. On the app, hundreds of dollars continue to be saved by our team of 40,000 Baptists using the discount section of the Baptist NZ app. There are now more than 50 places we can get discounts. I use this feature several times a month. The best bargains I've heard people in our churches getting is from JB Hi-Fi on electronic stuff, but I'd probably go to Bunnings a couple of times a month to do some DIY stuff on the house, always pulling out my Baptist NZ app to get a discount. The editorial advisory group that was set up 18 months ago has been disestablished. The idea for this diverse group of skilled volunteers was to oversee the content on the Baptist NZ platform. That's the website, the Baptist NZ app, the printable newsletters and social media, to ensure that the platform was fulfilling the objectives of the Baptist Union. It was a good idea, but ahead of its time, considering the development and stage of the platform. So a plan is to re-establish this group again in the future when we have more use for it. I'd like to thank the 5 people who made up this group: Shania Norman, Alicia Gordon, Jonan Castillion, Sophie Bond and Andrew Baldwin. Thank you for being willing to be part of this group. I am the Advertised Baptist NZ contact for media, public communication and statements. So I'm also available to help local churches and staff when requested. There have been several situations this year where I have supported local churches or engaged directly with media representatives. Our communication mechanism, and I say our because it is the platform of all of the churches in our union together, and it's an expression of our desire to connect with each other because of being in this union. Our communication in this way will only be good and used if there is great content that is helpful. We rely on the skills and gifts of those among us in our collective of faith communities who produce articles, tell stories, share news, offer opinions, create podcast episodes, write articles. I thank those who contribute in this way. Thank you very much for volunteering your skills in this way. If you know of someone in your church who would be great at creating in this space, please encourage them to check out the webpage baptist.nz/creatives. Or get in touch with me at my email is mike.crudge@baptist.org.nz. Thank you.